Hi, I'm Risa. Before I became an award-winning educator and college professor, I was a porn actress. And there are some things I wish someone had taught me before either of those chapters in my life. Today isn't about convincing you to agree with me. It's not about telling you what to think. It's not even about whether pornography is good or bad. It's about why I'm starting this channel and why this topic has followed me through nearly every chapter of my life. When I was 19 years old, I met a man who was 32. At the time, I was in college studying to become a teacher. I was optimistic. I was naive. I wanted to help people. I wanted to make the world a little better through education. What I didn't understand at the time was power dynamics. I did not understand coercion. I did not understand how control can slowly disguise itself as love. When I eventually entered into this industry, it wasn't because I woke up one morning and decided that was my dream. I was blindsided. One day, my husband told me to get dressed up. He drove me to a warehouse. Only when we arrived did he tell me that we were there to film a pornographic movie. We were facing eviction. He told me we'd be paid enough money to cover the rent, and I felt trapped between two impossible choices. And so began a chapter of my life that would follow me for decades. One of the things people often struggle to understand is that human beings are complicated. I wasn't miserable every second. I met people I genuinely liked, and I found moments of connection. I learned how to survive emotionally. I made the best of a situation I felt powerless to change. That doesn't mean I chose it, and it does not mean that I wanted it. Both of these things can be true at the same time. Eventually, I did leave the industry. Not long after, I left that relationship. That relationship was abusive in ways that many people don't immediately recognize. It wasn't just physical. It was psychological. It was financial. It was emotional. It was control. And one day I realized something. The next time he put his hands on me, I was leaving. And when that day came, I walked away. I left with a suitcase, one beloved pet, and no real idea what came next. But what came next was teaching. I poured everything I had into education. Teaching wasn't just a career. It was a calling. I loved helping people think. I loved helping people ask questions. I loved helping young people become curious about the world around them. Over the years, I became an award-winning educator. I coached teachers, I taught at the K-12 level, and later, I taught college students. And to this day, former students still reach out to tell me how much those years meant to them. And nothing makes me prouder. Years later, my past was exposed publicly. The story became national and eventually international news. I lost the career I loved. Not because of anything I had done as an educator, not because of anything involving my students, but because of something from a previous chapter of my life. That experience forced me to confront difficult questions about stigma, about forgiveness, about second chances, about how society treats people after they've changed. But here's the surprising part. Losing my teaching career is not the reason I'm making this channel. Relationships are. Over the years, I kept seeing the same patterns emerge in my own life, in my friends' lives, in conversations with women, and yes, in conversations with men, in therapy, in research, in stories people trusted me enough to share. And I realized something. Most people are not having these conversations honestly. We're often arguing, we are judging, and we are defending, but we're rarely examining. This channel is not anti-sex. It is not anti-men, and it is not anti-women. And it's not anti-porn. This channel exists to ask questions, to explore, to examine, to bring awareness to topics that many people have never been taught to think about critically. And my goal isn't to tell you what to believe. My goal is to help you consider things you may have never considered before about yourself, about your partner, about your relationships, and about the people on the other side of the screen. If you've made it this far, thank you. My name is Risa. I am an educator. I'm a truth seeker. And I believe that awareness comes before action. So let's ask some difficult questions. Let's examine uncomfortable truths, and let's do it without shame. Because the goal isn't to dictate. The goal is to facilitate. Welcome to the journey.